People living in Hilliard are still dealing with contaminated water, so today we spoke with some of them to get a better idea on how they're handling the situation.
We can't drink the water, can't use it to cook, and we're not even giving it to our pets.
High pressure once again builds into the Pacific Northwest. This means more summer weather. Comfortable tomorrow, but it gets hot by the weekend. Your forecast is next.
And renters now have more protections in Washington. Several new laws just went into effect, and tonight we'll tell you how they will impact landlords and their tenants.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Mark Hanrahan.
And I'm Whitney Ward. Jane is off tonight. We begin now with the latest on the contaminated drinking water in Hilliard. The city says it is making progress, but that it could still be several more days before people living and working in that area can safely drink their tap water.
So here is a map of the affected area. If you're in that area, you should not be drinking the tap water. People living in the neighborhood say it's been a big adjustment. KREM 2 Shayna Waldtower spoke with some of them to learn more about their biggest challenges they're facing.
Yeah, it's water just like this. Water you drink with, cook with, bathe with, even use to water your plants. Residents say they're smelling a foul odor that's coming from this water.
The rotten egg, that's what I smell too, and it just, ugh.
This is the reaction from many people living in the area about the water coming from their faucets.
We can't drink the water, can't use it to cook, and we're not even giving it to our pets.
Cheryl Oberg and her family live on Olympic Avenue.
We've lived here for 12 years and nothing like this before.
As imagined, she says this issue has been quite the inconvenience.
I don't even want to bathe with it because of the foul smell coming from the faucets.
So she's been going to her daughter's house to shower. Like many in the neighborhood, she's also had to go to the Hilliard post office where the city has been handing out bottled water.
Going through quite a few water bottles just for the 3 dogs. We're a household of 6, and him just getting out of the hospital, I need to make sure that he's hydrated and has definitely clean water.
Sarah Bloom's son is recovering from open heart surgery. She says this contaminated water has made their struggle even more difficult.
I'm not leaving his bedside, and so now I've had to rely on my neighbor who went and got the water for us.
It's a situation she and the rest of the neighborhood are hoping for a quick resolution.
I don't like it, but there's nothing you can do about it.
In Hilliard, Shayna Waldtower, KREM 2 News.
Now, the city says a commercial hydroseed vehicle used water from the city fire hydrants, and during that process, some contaminants did get into the city's backflow system. Now, activists are sharing their thoughts about this contamination, including the Erin Brockovich. Brockovich famously took on the utility company PG&E in the investigation that found widespread water contamination in a small California town. It's what spawned the movie, right? Well, in a Facebook post, Brockovich asked, "What is the contaminant? What's the quantity? How do they know it's a backflow?"
She's not the only one with questions tonight. Many people want more information about the contamination.
Yeah, KREM 2's Ian Smay took those top questions to the city of Spokane and has some answers.
I asked city spokeswoman Marlene Feist for answers to your top concerns. First off, Feist says the water can be used for cleaning, bathing, and watering your lawn. You just shouldn't drink it or use it to cook. The city says it needs to flush clean water through the system, and Feist says that this won't end up showing up on water bills, as all of the flushing takes place in a part of the line that comes before your usage meter. But those usage meters are having problems of their own. Crews discovered that some of the meters are clogged with fibers from the hydroseed backflow. Of the 100 to 120 meters in the area, Feist says that it's possible that they will all need to be replaced, but that cost will not fall on the customers. Companies are allowed to connect the hydrants with a city permit, but Feist says it appears the valve required to use the hydrant was used incorrectly or failed, but a specific cause hasn't been determined yet. She also says she doesn't know of any other time this has happened, and it is unknown which company the truck in question belonged to. And for how crews kept the contaminated water from spreading further, well, Feist says water maintenance crews shut off a valve in the area once the problems were reported, containing it to one part of the Hilliard neighborhood. For more answers to questions about the contaminated water, visit KREM.com. With KREM 2 News, I'm Ian Smay.
Now to some breaking news. Capital One says it suffered a massive security breach that exposed personal information of around 100 million people in the U.S. A former Seattle software engineer is now in custody. The Department of Justice says Paige Thompson stole data from millions of credit card applications.
Well, the Washington State House hired a private firm to investigate Spokane Valley Representative Matt Shay. They're looking into whether he has promoted political violence or is involved in groups that plan it. Shay gained a ton of attention earlier this year after The Guardian newspaper published messages where he appeared to propose violence and surveillance against political rivals. The investigator is a former FBI agent, and they have to give their final report to the State House by December 1st.
A Post Falls family is sharing what happened to them in hopes that other people don't fall victim. They were selling their car using an app called OfferUp, and last night an interested buyer briefly test drove their car, but when he came back, he gave the family a different set of keys. That family spoke with KREM 2's Taylor Vito, and Taylor, when they woke up this morning, that car was gone.
Yeah, Mark, that's right. This family thinks that the suspect gave them some kind of identical looking key after his short test drive. Then he came back overnight and swiped the car. We have a photo of what that vehicle looks like. Here it is. As you mentioned, they were selling it for $2,400 on the app OfferUp. Now, this is the profile page of the person they say is the suspect. Last night, the man came to their home here in Post Falls on a motorcycle. He left his bike there at their house and then test drove the car for about 7 minutes, the family says. The guy then came back, gave them the keys, and took off. So the family at the time thought nothing of it because the keys looked the same and he wasn't gone for that long. But sure enough, the car was gone this morning. The family thinks the suspect gave them some kind of dummy key. This was something he had planned out. They would have never guessed this could have happened to them.
We were just completely shocked, he seemed nice. I like to give people the benefit of the doubt, but just completely shocked and kind of felt a little silly that we didn't check the key, I guess, before we went to bed.
This car wasn't their daily driver, but still they say they had put some money into it to fix it up in order to sell. They're now out. That money plus the car. Now, Post Falls police say they have received a report on this. They are investigating. A department spokesperson tells me that a car theft in this manner appears kind of rare. They don't receive a lot of reports like this. Still, they advise you against leaving your keys with anyone you don't know for an extended period of time. Live outside the Post Falls Police Department, Taylor Vito, KREM 2 News.
They get more creative every day, don't they?
My goodness, terrible,
yeah,
right?
Not good. All right, let's get to your forecast. It's hot, it's dry, and we will likely see a whole lot more of that here in the next few days.
Yeah, Tom Sherry tracking all that for us in his forecast, huh?
Yeah, we've got seasonal temperatures in the forecast for tomorrow, but then we start to heat things up as we get closer to the weekend. Right now we're at 87 degrees. No wind out there. Wind is calm. You can see the barometric pressure falling. Look at that relative humidity, only 17%. That's why when it gets over 80 in the Spokane area, it's still pretty comfortable because we just don't have any humidity. Folks back in the Midwest and the Southeast, boy, they'd love to see something like that, but they don't, and it gets a little miserable for them. You take a look at the satellite and radar picture, you can see a few showers in southern and central Idaho, moving into southwestern Montana, but you can see eastern Washington, northern Idaho, clear skies and no rain at all. 58 will be the overnight low for good sleeping weather. We'll look for high right where we should be for this time of year on your Tuesday with a daytime high of 85. Told you it'd get hot for the weekend. I've got 90 on Sunday and 88 on Saturday. It's also going to be breezy on Saturday. I'll have more on your 10-day forecast coming up in a few minutes.
Sounds good, Tom. Thank you very much. A health advisory is issued for Lower Twin Lake in Kootenai County. Authorities say there are harmful algae blooms in the water right now, and those blooms can produce toxins, and they're dangerous for humans and animals. Health experts say the blooms can compromise your immune system and cause rashes, hives, and vomiting.
So an algae bloom often looks like thick, discolored green water. Right now, you're advised just to stay out of that Lower Twin Lake area. Don't drink from the lake, obviously. If you've already been in the water, experts recommend that you wash off with lots of fresh water.